I thought I was ready to see Colleen's new character design, but I never thought this was how I would see it. Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillia, and today let's talk about chapter 171 of the Ethan Zero manga series. A chapter that gave us more updates to designs for our characters, plus also the return of Captain Connor. However, the most interesting thing from this chapter, in my opinion, came from Shiki. As if we take a look at the character in a more deeper and emotional sort of perspective, it's very clear that he still holds some guilt over the death of Witch. And even after 3 years, he still hasn't found it any easier to accept it. Which is perfectly okay. But the reason as to why I love this so much is because of the way that this and other emotions could drive Shiki to be more aggressive and less like the Shiki we currently know before the 3-year time skip. We see him smile with a slight menacing vibe to it once he finds out that Captain Connor used to work for Ziggy, as this gives him that lead that they've been desperately searching for in their pursuit for Ziggy. However, I am a bit worried as to the length that Shiki might go in order to get to Ziggy. Will Connor be used as leverage and put in a dangerous situation, thus showcasing more of an unhinged and more of a darker side to our main protagonist? To me, Shiki seems like a new character that's looking for revenge, but also someone who's a bit lost, as he can't rely on his friends anymore like he used to. He's taking on a lot of responsibility, stating that he is the sword and shield of the Ethan Zero, forgetting the fact that Homura is there, and isn't she meant to be the sword of the ship? As a side note though, I do like the fact that in his inner thoughts, within this chapter, Shiki does also think of Valkyrie alongside of Witch. And now swinging back to Homura's character and the idea of feeling guilty. She too is feeling guilty and the pain of losing Creed even after these 3 years. I like this because it continues that particular plot thread / storyline, but I do hope that Homura isn't feeling personally responsible for Creed's death, as we know how fragile Homura can be when it comes to the emotional and her mindset type of things. Because her mindset currently, or before the 3 years, was in a dark place. She thought whoever got close to her either ended up dead or really badly hurt. So again, I do hope that we close this storyline relatively soon so Homura can get some closure and just be smiling. As a side note though, for her character, I did love the her face that she pulled in the bath scene where she was like really shocked and sort of a little bit embarrassed and flustered. I quite like that from Homura. Okay then, so let's move on to the character designs, as we see the rest of the crew that we didn't get to see in the last chapter. So first off, we have Lugana, and he looks a bit more flamboyant, and has a slight change in hairstyle, but nothing too dramatic. As for Jin, he's rocking the Gargiel look with his wild and long hair. It's logical to say though that his body has hardly changed in terms of design or appearance, most likely due to the fact that it's been mostly modified. Sister, most like Rebecca, was given a weird camera angle for her introduction, but once seeing her full body design, it's looking good. Again, not a massive change in design, but you can just see the small changes and they are appreciated. I think the character though with the most notable design changes would be Colleen, as she now has a bit more of a maturer look to her, while also keeping her sweet and innocent personality. She came across as acting a bit sisterly towards Rebecca, showcasing concern for her B-Cuber career thanks to Rebecca being aligned with Shiki and the Ethan Zero, thanks to Shiki gaining the title of Erathion Saint Galactica. It may have only been small, but within this chapter, Colleen does showcase a physical and mental growth from her character within the 3-year time skip. I'm looking forward to seeing her fighting skills back in action once again. Now, while we touch on the topic of B-cubing, the opening segment with Happy and Rebecca reading their live chats was rather funny. I do have to admit that. But hopefully Rebecca's chat calms down a little bit, they're a bit thirsty. And again, I know this does kind of reflect on a real world sort of issue, because, I don't know if you call it an issue, but it does happen in live streams, whether you're male or female, you do get those weird comments like that. But yeah, hopefully it's not that bad. Because let's be honest, Rebecca's chat was, it was something. Okay then, so, with Captain Connor returning to the ship, what awaits our crew as they have seemingly forgotten the time spent with him previously? All apart from Rebecca, who actually warns the crew that he is actually part of Ziggy's crew and he's an enemy. This is all thanks to the shift into World 30. Are we going to get a repeat of our last encounter with Captain Connor, in where he gets kicked out of the Ethan Zero spa for mistaking it to be a mixed bath? Will he use the dress factory to give himself captain clothes? Or will he keep asking if Makosi's button once pushed would do anything? Maybe he might start teaching Pino inappropriate language again. And he could spend time conversing with Shiki to gain his trust and a new friendship. The last two of those, I'm not entirely sure if they're likely to happen, because Pino is more mature and less impressionable and more knowledgeable than last time. And of course, Shiki is seemingly different than what he was back then. Now with this reintroduction of Captain Connor, it does bring forth some questions. For example, is this a plan or a trick to get our crew to lower their guard? Or was he kicked out of the Ethan's 1 thanks to his skills as a pilot being deemed unnecessary? Because we know when the Ethan 1 appeared and we saw Captain Connor be on the enemy side, he was hesitant to destroy the Ethan 0. There was clearly some tension between himself and those dark stars. So maybe they got tired of him and just gave him the boot. Or could this actually be a completely new version of Captain Connor, created after Rebecca's battle with the Card Lady in the war against Shura? Rebecca did change the timeline in order to save her legs by winning that match. So what's to say that this didn't actually shift into another world where Captain Connor is still a pilot that wants to become a captain, but he was captured by Ziggy and enslaved to work in a factory, instead of his dream of being a pilot. Whatever the reason might be, only time will tell, I guess. Let me know what you think about this return in the comment section down below. Because overall, I thought this chapter was highly enjoyable. It did feel a bit slow, but I think this works to the story overall, because the crew are currently lost in their search for Ziggy, without any clues or hints. So why should the chapter be moving at a fast pace? The chapter reflects the crew's progress. Steady, but slow. Now then, that's all I've got to say for this chapter. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you did, hit like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Let me know all your thoughts, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Alligator, matane, goodbye.